Legend of Total War here, and today we've got something a little bit different than the usual disaster battles. This one here is going to be a Rate My Doomstack video. So, similar to how it works with the disaster battles, people will send in their save files, and I will rate what they think is a Doomstack. So this one here was sent in by the Gaming Dane, and he wants me to rate this one. So what I'll do, to set up some sort of structure with this, we will, I'll rate this army out of 10. And if it's a 9 out of 10, that means it's as good as what I usually use. If it's a 10 out of 10, that means it's better than what I usually use. Anything lower than a 9 out of 10, I'd say that it's not as good as what I usually use. So, just to put things in quick perspective, what I normally run with Skaven Weapons Team's army is, if I'm not using a Legendary Lord, for example, so this one here has got Ica Claw, it's fine, but I usually use a Plague Gracier. I go with 4 Plague Priests, 2 Warlock Engineers, 1 Poison Wind Mortar, 4 Warplock Jezzails, 4 Rattling Guns, and 4 Plague Claw Catapults. So instead of that, he's got me 3 of these units here and a few Brood Horrors. Brood Horrors are a new introduction into the game, which they work really well for Clan Molder when you've got those mutations on with them, but I haven't tried them yet using a non-Clan Molder faction, so we'll see how this goes. So they've actually intercepted us. I believe it is on Legendary. Yeah, it's on Legendary difficulty. And we do have a nuke, but I'm not going to use it. And we'll just see how it performs. So yeah, if you've got an army that you feel like is pretty good or better than what I usually run with, then do feel free to send it in. It's the same process as before, you just email it. And just make sure you tag, like in the title, Rate My Doomstack. And I'll have a look at it. Probably, possibly. I mean, I get so many emails, I can't answer them all. So if anybody's sit there going, they never answered my email, it's because I never saw it. It just gets buried. Feel free to resend it. Or just even better still, respond to it with bump. It puts it back up at the top of the list. Because it's an absolute shitstorm. I can't possibly answer all my emails, there's too many. It's like, it's a good problem to have. But I'm sure there's a lot of people that are a bit frustrated that I never fixed their campaigns. I just didn't see it. That's all there is to it. I can't fix everyone's campaigns, there's too many. Like, remember when I first started doing this series? Yeah, I'd get 1 or 2 a day. So I'd reject one and do the other one. Now it's like dozens. I'm like, okay. I'm not even gonna look at them all. I just like pick the one that I just feel like doing based on the title. So it's like, if it's vampire accounts, I usually don't even open the save. Don't even open it because people just don't want to see vampire accounts. Sometimes they do, it depends on the situation. But I'll open like 5 of them and be like, I feel like doing a Skaven one today, or whatever. I'll take a look at it and be like, too easy, and then I'll pick something else. But if I open the email, I'll respond saying I either was or was not interested in it. So if I never responded to your email, it means I never opened it. It's still sitting in my inbox unopened. Just hit bump, and I'll eventually get to it. Some people have had to bump it 12 times before I got to it. I promise, I'm not deliberately trying to ignore anyone. Like, if, for example, if I was, like on a really off chance, if I was pissed off with someone, I'll let you know. Okay? Don't worry. I'll let you know. Alright, it's pretty good position here for the weapons. I think we should move up a little bit more. Problem here is the... okay, so... the terrain isn't perfect here, right? Because if we look at here, there's a slight bump in the road here, where as they're coming in, they can get us. But we're dealing with Hellstorm rocket batteries, so we want to get as far back as possible. So maybe what I'll do is I'll actually fall back a little bit at the start. Because you really want to make sure that the Rattling Guns get a good position here. Probably taking a bit too long with this, but... Man, weapons teams in the underway, you can be finicky sometimes with it. We've got to be careful of the things. Okay. I think the initial problem that I'm having with this is that there are way more unit types that I'm used to in a Skaven army. Like, my weapons teams usually have more variety than what I usually do. But there are 2 more units types in here that I normally bring, which means it's more work to sort of get them to work as a team. So in terms of user friendliness, this is definitely losing points. Because the easier an army is to use, the better. So, like, I find it a little bit clunky, just a little bit so far. That shouldn't be on a plague furnace, but it's okay. I really like the new Packmaster heroes. So I said Ikaclaw up there to just get the Hellstorm rocket batteries to shoot at him so that they lag behind so that we just menace below them. If we send the wolf rats over there right now by summoning them, they'll just get hit once and die. They'll just rout straight away. So yeah, Ikaclaw on a Doomflayer, really hard to hit. So that crack skull did fucking nothing. Another downside is with 1 as opposed to 4 wizards attached to the army, we're not going to get as much winds of magic generating. Okay, they're shitting their own troops like crazy. Sounds good. I gotta pull them further away from their artillery before we start using the menace belows here. Remember, I'm not trying to waste their ammo, I'm just trying to have them shoot at us so they don't move. We want them to stay there. Don't move with the rest of their army. Okay, that's good. Okay, we should be able to finish them off just by zapping them here. Especially when their artillery is shooting their own troops. That is working great. Yeah, I don't really need to kill them when they're shooting their own troops at the moment, so yeah, I might just leave them be for a bit. But the Hellstorm rocket batteries are doing so much more damage to their own troops than to me. They're not even tickling me. I'm not even sure if I want to get rid of them. See, this is where the Doom Flare really comes in handy. It's so hard for them to hit it. Whereas on the Doom Wheel, it's just a much bigger amount. Even though it's the same speed, it's just harder to hit. It's also a bit more maneuverable. Which also means you take less friendly fire from like Rattling Guns and Giselles. So far I haven't even needed to use any of those units.
Quick mode. Steam. Kill mode. Advance. Advance forward.
Alright, let's do it now. And let's start doing some of this. So I want to get them around these units. Maybe go for the missile ones. Yeah, because the Menace Blows can take out the Hellstorm rocket batteries. That's no problem. And we'll send the Brood Horrors in to go get rid of the Steam Tanks. See how they do. Because this here is pretty much dead. And send them because they're on Brood Horrors as well. Yeah, I just don't need this. Just don't need it. Like, if I pop this down like this, and then do this, it's not really going to increase amount of damage since it just does overkill. It's useful if you put them down plagues such as... put them down spells such as plagues, what I was trying to say. Where did others go? Yeah, just let the weapons teams deal with that. Alright, well there's the army losses, but we still gotta get rid of the steam tanks. One of the annoying things about these summons is that as soon as you summon them, you can't give them any commands. You gotta wait a second. Which is annoying when you need to move on to other selections. Not a big deal though. Alright, so we pretty much walked out of this with no casualties, but the thing is, against this army here, if we had used a other type of Doomstack, my regular weapons teams, I'm pretty sure we would have gotten a similar result. The only problem would have been dealing with the steam tank. So in this regard here, this definitely did better, I suppose. But that's only because they have steam tanks. Because they were unbreakable. what else is... Oh, right.
Basic warrior.
Okay, sure. So it's definitely a good army. That was it's good, but is it better than what I normally use? Well, let me think about that. So, because this is a pretty standard Empire army, definitely a lot of Hellstorm rocket batteries. We were certainly able to make them do more damage to their own troops than to us.
Skaven Blight revels in this victory.
So let's think about the ups and downs to this particular type of army.
Chief Warlock,
It's definitely more expensive, so if you have a look at Rattling Guns, look at their price compared to Brood Horror, but then we need to also take into consideration his trait is reducing the upkeep cost of Jezzails and Rattling Guns. So in terms of Ikit Claw's army, it's probably not as effective than just to go with the extra Rattling Gun and Jezzails and not even get any Brood Horrors. But if we weren't using Ikit Claw, because I don't need to send this save file back, you just wanted me to have a look at it. So if I just got this guy here,
Warlock Master of
yeah, they're still more expensive than these units. Because don't get me wrong, I like Brood Horrors, but I'm of the opinion that you either go all in or go all out. I'm not really feeling like 6 Brood Horrors is needed in this army. I think it's too many. So what I think would maybe work a bit better, because this is interesting. It worked a bit better than I thought it would, but I think he's gone too many Brood Horrors. I think instead of going 3 Pack Masters, either go 2 Plague Priests, 2 Pack Masters, not 3. And if you're going to go with other Brood Horrors here, I'm just not sure about that. Because yeah, these guys here, they'd be reducing that. So yeah, if you had 1 fewer of them, they'd be even more expensive. So it's definitely good. I'd probably give it an 8.5, like really close to what I would normally use, but there's definitely some inefficiencies here. Like if they got close, like these guys here don't have as much crowd control as a Plague Priest, and they don't have as much damage output as Rattling Guns and Jezzails, but they got regen. They're very good for taking out single entities, such as a steam tank. But at the same time, Warplock Jezzails are also really good at taking out steam tanks as well, but they would take a little bit of damage, which isn't that big of a deal because you can just eat captives after the battle and just restore them completely, so that's usually not a problem. So yeah, I'd probably rate this at 8.5. Not quite as good as what I would normally use, I just see a couple of inefficiencies, but better than I expected. I think with a few tweaks, you can make it pretty much just as good. Like I said, go 2-2, not 3-2. And I'm just not convinced about the actual Brood Horrors in the army here. I feel like if you're going to go Brood Horrors, go full Monster Doomstack, or go full Weapons team. Don't go mix and match a little bit, because I just don't feel that much towards the teams. Because if these guys will be on Brood Horrors as well. Like 1 or 2 of them is fine, but 6 I think is too many. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Let me know what you think. And if you want to send in your Doomstack for me to rate, check out the link in the description, or if you've got a disaster battle, again, check out the link in the description. Also, if I send you back a save file now and you have a DLC, or I have a DLC that you don't, there is a way to bypass that now. You just have to load the save file from the launcher, so as soon as you put the save file into your save folder, just click on the launcher and hit continue campaign, and it'll override the DLC that's in there. So don't worry about letting me know about which DLCs you don't have, because we don't need to do that anymore. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time, fuckers. Appreciate you.